Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. Seeing that today is Poetry Thursday, I thought I would give an impromptu reading of some poetry from the Zhao Dynasty. I have been reading Shang Civilization by K.C. Chang and just came across some verses which I found absolutely delightful. I read this book probably 10 years ago and was not ready for it, to be sure. It may well have been more than 10 years ago, I don't know, but got nothing out of the book at all. And so all of this year so far, I've been reading archaeology, and things are coming together a little bit better. So I'm going to lead into it with some writing by Chang, and then he talks about the Fu Hao tomb. It was a big excavation I should say, an excavation of major importance for studies of the Shang, and he gives an inventory of it. I'll go through that. If I think of it, I'll put a link in the description box to something about the tomb in question. As I say, it has quite a level of renown in the field. Our balance sheets, incomplete as they are, clearly show that the flow of wealth, grains, meat, goods, and services, was vastly uneven in favor of the upper stratum of Shang society and of the large towns of the settlement network, especially the largest of them all, the capital. The archaeological remains of the ground houses at Xiaotun and the royal tombs at Xibei Kang represent significant accumulations of Shang wealth at the top and center. An excellent illustration is provided by the inventory of goods buried in Fu Hao's tomb. And I should just interject that my pronunciation of the Chinese is all over the place. I have no idea what I'm trying to say. So here's the inventory. Wooden chamber and lacquered wooden coffin, 16 sacrificial victims, 6 sacrificial dogs, almost 7,000 cowries, more than 200 bronze ritual vessels, 5 large bells and 16 small bells of bronze, 44 bronze implements, 27 of them knives, 4 bronze mirrors, 1 bronze spatula, 130+ bronze weapons, 4 bronze tigers or tiger heads, 20+ bronze artifacts of other descriptions, 590+ jade and jade-like objects, 100+ jade beads, discs, and pieces, 20+ opal beads, 2 quartz crystal objects, 70+ stone sculptures and other stone objects, 5 bone implements, 20+ bone arrowheads, 490+ bone hairpins, 3 ivory carvings, 4 pottery vessels, and 3 clay whistles. In this one tomb were placed scarce goods gathered from both within and beyond the Shang state and manufactured by countless workers in countless workshops, probably both in Anyang and elsewhere in the state. She was indeed both at the center, Anyang, and near the top, royal consort of King Wu Ting of the Shang Dynasty, members of the opposite end of the social stratum, whose pit houses and graves were numerous in the archaeological remains, but warranted only brief or even statistical accounts, obviously did not command any wealth of such proportions. Their life did not appear in the divination records, but some of the Western Zhao poems in Shiqing described it closely enough. And then here are three different segments. Cam, you hew the tan wood, you place it on the bank of the river. The waters of the river are clear and wavy. If you do not sow and do not reap, how can you bring in 300 yardfuls of grain? If you do not chase and do not hunt, how can we see suspended badgers in your courtyard? That nobleman, indeed, he does not eat the food of idleness. Fa Tan, translated by B. Carlgren. Big rat, do not gobble our millet. 3 years we have slaved for you, yet you take no notice of us. At last we are going to leave you and go to that happy land, where we shall have our place. Shuo Shu, translated by Arthur Whaley. The last one is also translated by Whaley, and it's much longer than the previous two. In the 7th month, the fire ebbs. In the 9th month, I hand out the coats. In the days of the 1st, sharp frosts. In the days of the 2nd, keen winds. Without coats, without surge, how should they finish the year? In the days of the 3rd, they plow. In the days of the 4th, out I step with my wife and children, bringing hampers to the southern acre where the field hands come to take good cheer. The spring days are drying out. They gather the white aster in crowds. A girl's heart is sick and sad till with her lord she can go home. In the 7th month, the fire ebbs. In the 8th month, they pluck the rushes. In the silkworm month, they gather the mulberry leaves. Take that chopper and bill to lop the far boughs and high, pull towards them the tender leaves. In the 7th month, the shrike cries. In the 8th month, they twist thread, the black thread and the yellow. With my red dye so bright, I make a robe for my lord. In the 4th month, the milkwort is in spike. In the 5th month, the cicada cries. In the 8th month, the harvest is gathered. In the 10th month, the boughs fall. In the days of the 1st, we hunt the raccoon and take those foxes and wild cats to make furs for our Lord. In the days of the 2nd is the great meat, practice for deeds of war. The 1-year-old we keep, the 3-year-old we offer to our Lord. In the 5th month, the locust moves its leg. In the 6th month, the grasshopper shakes its wing. In the 7th month, out in the wilds. In the 8th month, in the farm. In the 9th month, at the door. In the 10th month, the cricket goes under my bed. I stop up every hole to smoke out the rats, plugging the windows, burying the doors. Come, wife and children, the change of the year is at hand. Come and live in this house. From something called the Chu Yue. The life of the Western Zhao farmers may not have been identical with that of the Shang, but the Shang farmers left no poems, and the comparison of these glimpses of the life of the Zhao peasant with the Fu Hao tomb inventory serves well to illustrate the upward and centripetal resource flow that was common to both dynasties. So again, that little bit comes from Shang Civilization by K.C. Chang, which I am enjoying. I just loved that description of life, sort of a year-round calendar of what it was like living back in those days. Thank you for stopping by my channel, and have a happy Poetry Thursday.